everyone, welcome to another video. If you're new to my channel, my name is Hannah Moon and welcome. Today's video is going to be all about apartment hunting in New York City. I'm going to walk you through the process. I'll show you guys all the different apartments that we viewed, and I'll also show you guys which apartment we chose for our next home. Now, just a little update on our housing plans. If you guys have been following me, you know that my husband and I moved out of our high-rise apartment in Long Island City a couple of months ago in hopes to buy a place. However, we just decided to put that on hold because we didn't feel like the timing was right to buy right now. The interest rates are so high right now while the prices of the homes are still high, so we decided it was best not to rush into it. So instead, we actually decided to move to Manhattan. I'm so excited, to be honest, because we've both never actually lived in Manhattan. We both grew up in Queens. I have family that lived in Brooklyn, and our previous apartment was very close to Manhattan in Long Island City, but it's still in Queens. I feel like that's common for many New Yorkers. A lot of people choose to live in the other boroughs of New York City because usually you can get more bang for your buck. However, there's definitely that convenience and charm of just waking up in Manhattan and having the whole city right at your doorstep. So I'm very excited about this move and this new chapter in our lives. Before I get into the actual apartments, I wanted to go over some typical requirements and documents you will need to sign a lease in New York City. And I'm just going to tell you from experience, it'll be very helpful to have these documents handy because it's a very competitive market in New York City for rentals, and you don't want to lose out on an apartment just because you don't have the documents to send out. So I'm going to go through this kind of fast, but here are the things that you would need. Again, some of the apartments may have slightly different requirements, but this was pretty standard in every apartment that we saw. Annual income requirements. You must make at least 40 times the monthly rent per year or have a guarantor making 80 times the monthly rent. So if your rent is $3,000, you need to be making at least $120,000 for your annual income in order to be qualified for the lease. Next, you need to have good credit, and they're looking for people with 700 or above. Need a letter of employment or CPA letter if you're self-employed. Tax returns from the last 2 years, last 2 pay stubs, last 2 bank statements, identification, and a landlord reference letter. Aside from these documents needed, here are some of the potential fees that are also pretty common. Upon signing the lease, you'll need your security deposit, which is usually first month's rent. Also, your first month's rent is due upon signing. $20 application fee per person. A broker's fee, which ranges anywhere from the first month's rent to 15% of your annual rent. So just to put the 15% broker fee into context, if your rent is $3,000 per month, your annual rent will be $36,000, and 15% of that is $5,400, which is a lot of money to pay in addition to everything else that's required. The last one that we saw was condo and co-op fees, and there's a lot of condos and co-ops in Manhattan, and usually these will come with additional fees. This will definitely vary depending on the building, but on average, we saw that it was an additional $1,000 to $1,200 upon signage. There are definitely rental apartments that don't require these fees if they're not condos or co-ops, but if they are, chances are it will come with a fee. Before we started apartment hunting, we had a budget in mind for what we wanted to spend monthly on our rent, and this really helped us filter out any of the ones that were way over our budget. We were looking for 1 bedrooms, no studios because it's the 2 of us, and our budget was $3,500 a month. Now that does sound pretty high, but for the location and area that we were looking at, it's a pretty average price. Now just going through the checklist of what we needed and what we wanted for our next apartment. Looking for an apartment in Manhattan that ticks off all of your boxes is very, very difficult. That's because there's a lot of pre-war older apartments in Manhattan, and different locations have different styles of apartments. So I'll just share with you guys our checklist so you have an idea of our thought process during our search. So this was our essential must-have checklist, and the first one on the list was convenient location and neighborhood. We wanted to make sure we were in a neighborhood where the location is convenient for us. That meant nearby subways, commuting to work won't be a hassle, there's grocery stores, and food and coffee options nearby. As far as neighborhood, we were both looking at Midtown East because it's a convenient location for both of us to commute to work, and we also really like the area. A big part of the reason why we decided to move to Manhattan was the convenience factor, so we didn't want our commutes to be any more inconvenient than what it used to be. We also like the neighborhoods in the east side better. In general, I feel like the crowd is a little bit younger. There's a lot of restaurant, bar, and coffee options. Next on our checklist was having a one-bedroom layout that makes sense. You would be surprised to see some layouts that just don't make sense, especially for two people. We wanted a proper living room that can fit our sofa and our TV and media console. We also wanted a bedroom big enough to fit our queen-size bed and all of our other furniture like a desk and a dresser. Some of the layouts that we saw, no matter how we rearranged the furniture, we would be blocking like a door or a closet, so those were a little bit impractical for us. Next is enough closet space for two people. Some one-bedroom apartments come with literally one closet, which is obviously not enough for the both of us, so we were looking for at least two big closets. Next was it had to be an elevator building or a second floor walk-up. Second floor walk-up usually means 2 flights of stairs because a lot of the apartments that we saw, the first floor units would be 1 flight up, so it wasn't ground level. I would be willing to walk up 2 flights of stairs, but anything more than that I think would be a little bit inconvenient. Next on our list, which was a very important one for us, was laundry and building. Now in our previous apartment, we were spoiled with in-unit washer dryer, which is definitely a luxury, especially in Manhattan. So I wasn't expecting in-unit, but it definitely had to be in the building so we don't have to step out to use an outside laundromat. We also didn't know how far and clean the nearest laundromat was, so we definitely made this a priority to have. The final thing on our must-have list was wooden floors. We both agreed that wooden floors are an essential because we don't like carpet floors, and we also don't wear shoes in the house, so we wanted to make sure we can clean the floors thoroughly upon arrival. We also have separate carpets that we use in the living room and the bedroom. Now moving on to the preferred options of what we would like to have. The first one was big windows and a lot of natural lighting. We were also spoiled with this in our last apartment because we had floor-to-ceiling windows and a corner unit, so we had a ton of natural light. I wasn't looking for that much, but ideally I wanted to have bigger windows with natural lighting coming in throughout the day. Next on our list was having an open kitchen. I feel like a lot of the newer apartments have this layout and it just kind of opens up the space a little bit more and looks modern. So I would have loved to have it, but it's not a must. Next was having stainless steel appliances in the kitchen. This is definitely not an essential, but because I love to cook and I spend a lot of time in the kitchen, it would be nice to have updated appliances that are a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. Next is laundry and unit. We both agreed that it wasn't mandatory for us to have an in-unit washer dryer as long as we had a shared laundry room in the building. But again, if the apartment came with it and it was within our budget, we would have loved to have an in-unit washer dryer. The last thing on this list was having a rooftop, which is an amenity that we would have loved to have. Especially being in Midtown Manhattan, if you have a roof deck or a terrace, you would just have access to the beautiful skyline views. We also love hosting friends and family, so this would have definitely been a plus for us. So that was our whole checklist, and we primarily used StreetEasy to look for our apartments. I feel like this is the most popular platform when looking for rentals in New York City. You can basically choose the neighborhood you want and put in the price that you're looking for, and you can also select amenities that you want in your building. There's just a lot of tools to filter your search based on your needs. Now for the fun part of the video that you were probably waiting for, let's get right into seeing some of the apartments that I viewed. So the first apartment was in Murray Hill, but it was actually right on Park Avenue, so it's a pretty commercial area. This particular unit was a corner unit with good natural lighting. There's windows on both sides of the wall, and one side is pretty open without any direct obstruction. The living room was a pretty good size and enough room for even a dining table. The kitchen though was really tiny. The appliances and cabinets were pretty nice, but the microwave was taking up a whole chunk of counter space, and the oven and fridge were just very tiny. I did like that there was a window in the kitchen. The bedroom was a standard queen size with a big closet. It also had a big window with a nice view outside. There were also 3 more closets right next to the bathroom, so the closet space here was ideal. Here's the bathroom, which is a little bit older, especially with the sliding doors in the tub. This unit was a little bit over our budget, and the agent said she had a cheaper one in the same building, so I decided to take a look at that as well. So this is the other unit in the same building on a lower floor. The lights did not work when I went to go see it, so the footage is a little bit dark. Here's the living room, which is an okay size. There's a big window here with a dining nook for a table, but not a lot of natural light since it's kind of cornered by buildings. Here's the kitchen. It's very tiny, just like the other one, and barely any counter space. It does have a nice hallway leading into the bedroom. The bedroom is a standard queen size, but a little bit on the smaller end. There is a window here, but it had this netting in front of it, which I guess is for safety reasons, but again, no natural light since there's buildings surrounding it. There's a closet in the bedroom and another closet in the bathroom, but not much storage other than that. The bathroom is clean, a little bit old-fashioned, and kind of small. This building did have a nice lobby with a doorman, it had an elevator, a laundry room, but no other amenities other than that. The prices were not terrible, especially with the 1 month free, but the space was a little bit too small for us, especially the kitchen. Also, it was on Park Ave, so it was a very busy commercial street with not a lot of privacy. Next apartment that we saw was in Kips Bay, and this was a boutique apartment, so it was a walk-up. It was only 1 flight up though, which wasn't bad at all. It was definitely very spacious. The living room was a proper size, and there was even a home office nook, which was great since we both work from home on some of the days. The kitchen was nice and renovated, but it didn't have a dishwasher. The bedroom was a little smaller. We didn't know if all of our bedroom furniture would fit in here. The bathroom was very nicely renovated, marble walls and floors, and a nice shower stall. The windows were not very big, and it was obstructed by other buildings, so there's definitely not much natural light coming through. We actually liked this unit, but the biggest catch is that there was no laundry room in the building. We definitely needed a laundry room no matter what, so unfortunately this was a pass. Next up was an apartment in Turtle Bay, and it was a condo. Here's the living room, which was pretty spacious with a big window. The entryway is separated by this dining nook with customized storage and pantry, which I thought added a really nice touch. The kitchen was fully renovated with a very nice modern backsplash, and it just looked very high-end. The bathroom tiles were a little bit older, but it did have a new shower stall, and there was also a closet right next to the bathroom. Here's a bedroom. Those curtains are not cute, but obviously removable, and it had some lighting installed in the ceiling as well as a walk-in closet. There was also another unit in the same building that had the same price, so the broker took me to see that one as well. This one was a little higher up but less renovated than the first one. It was also an open house, so there are a lot of people viewing the unit. The living room was a good size with big windows. Here's the kitchen. It has updated appliances and a window as well. The bedroom was a little bit small, but it had a big closet. There was also a closet right next to the bathroom, and one of the things I really liked about the bathroom was that it had a window in it. So this condo was an elevator building with a doorman. It had a laundry room, and it also had a very nice gym with a lot of equipment, so that would have kind of helped us save on gym memberships. It also had a beautiful roof deck with 360 views of Midtown. Unfortunately, the broker fee and the condo fees were way too high for us to swallow. Even though the building and the amenities were nice, after calculating, we would have had to pay more than $10,000 upon signing the lease. I just felt like there were definitely better priced options out there. The next apartment was in Kips Bay, and it was actually already tenant occupied, but we went for an open house. We actually really liked the layout here. There was a nice long foyer hallway, which was a nice entryway into the unit. It was also a corner unit with big windows, and there was a ton of natural lighting coming through. The living room was a pretty good size and had space for a dining table. The kitchen was right next to the living room, and it was also a good size, had updated stainless steel appliances. Here's a bathroom, which was nothing fancy but not super old, and the bedroom, which had enough space for all of our stuff. The best part was that you can see the Empire State Building from the window. There was also 2 laundry machines on each floor, which made it that much more convenient to do laundry, and it also had a beautiful rooftop deck with views of all of Midtown as well as the East River. So we actually really liked this unit, and even though it was a little bit over our budget, we thought that all the pros were worth it. As soon as we got home that day, we submitted the application and submitted all of the required documents, but unfortunately there was another applicant that did it at the same time as us. And basically, since we were two very similar applicants, the landlord decided to change it to a 2-year lease and make the second year's rent $3,800, which was $100 more. We didn't want to tie ourselves up to a 2-year lease, so we told them we can only do 1 year, and the other applicant accepted the 2-year lease, so he got it. So the next apartment that we saw was a Murray Hill, and this was a rental building that was also tenant occupied, but the guy was really nice and let me take a video of the unit. So as soon as you enter, there is the kitchen. It's a pretty small kitchen, but it has updated appliances and looks pretty renovated. There's also space right in front of the kitchen to put a dining table as he did. The living room was kind of small. The distance between the sofa and TV is pretty close, and it was also a junior 1-bedroom unit, so it had these flex sliding walls that divides the living room and bedroom. Bedroom was also very small. We wouldn't have space to put any of our dressers or my vanity in here at all. The bathroom was pretty nice though. It was renovated and had a lot of mirrors, and I liked the tiling. This building had a doorman, a laundry room. It also had a lounge and a rooftop deck, which was gorgeous. The rooftop was actually a very big space, and the agent said that they have chairs and benches set up during the warmer months. However, I don't think the apartment unit would have been big enough for the two of us. Also, I don't know why, but the apartment kind of gave me budget hotel vibes in the elevators and the hallways. So the next apartment was actually a co-op in Gramercy. As soon as you enter in, there's a pretty big closet to the right of the entryway, and in front of that is a semi-open kitchen with updated appliances, and the kitchen was actually pretty big. And by semi-open, I mean that there was literally just a small opening from the kitchen facing the living room. The living room was a pretty good size, and I liked that there was a nook for a dining table, although I wasn't really feeling the chandeliers. I did like the big windows with the black window pane. The bathroom was gorgeous and fully renovated. It was probably the best part about this unit. Everything just looked so modern and chic. However, the bedroom was super tiny. There's really just enough room for our bed, and that's it. There also wasn't a closet inside the bedroom, which I thought was kind of weird. It was actually next to the bathroom, which would have to serve as a linen closet plus a bedroom closet. The building did have an elevator, a doorman, a shared laundry room, and even a roof deck. The roof deck, of course, had really nice views, although it was a little bit on the smaller end. We just felt like the layout of the bedroom and the closet situation was not ideal for us, especially with the high broker fees and co-op fees that came with it. I just didn't think it was worth it. So after going to a ton of open houses, we finally found an apartment that we liked. It ticked off all of our essential must-have boxes and 3 out of the 5 preferred boxes, and it was also very close to our budget. For privacy reasons, I'm not going to disclose the exact neighborhood, but it is a very convenient location for us, and the location is actually the main factor why we chose this apartment. So when you enter in, right next to the entrance, we have a huge foyer closet, which is great for extra storage. It also has some built-in shelving units to just help maximize the space. Right across that is the kitchen. I really like the appliances here. There's a proper stove and oven, microwave, and even a dishwasher. We also have this double door fridge that is very big, and the freezer also comes with an ice maker. And here is the living room. It's very nice and spacious and has 3 big windows. There's also a closet right next to the bathroom that also has shelves installed. The bathroom has nice big mirrors with cabinet space behind each mirror. Here's a bedroom that's a pretty good size. It has a large window. We have an eastern exposure here, so we'll get the sunrise every morning. The bedroom also had a big closet with shelving already installed. This is an elevator building with a doorman, and it also had a laundry room, which was a must for us. There's also a gym that has your basic machine and some weights, so we can get a quick workout in. And my favorite part about the building was the rooftop deck. It has a full view of Midtown and the surrounding skyscrapers. There's benches and tables that we can use, and it'll be perfect for the warmer months. I'm so excited for our new apartment. I can't wait to decorate it and furnish it. Our previous apartment was a brand new luxury high-rise apartment, which obviously we loved, but we try to keep things a little bit minimal there. Here it definitely has that Manhattan look and charm, and I feel like we can add a little bit more personality to the decor. Overall, I'm very happy that we found a place that ticked off all of our must-haves and 3 out of 5 preferred options. Even though the monthly rent was $100 over the monthly budget that we had planned for, we avoided all of the broker, condo, co-op fees, so it was worth it. So that's a wrap to this video. I hope you guys enjoyed and found it helpful, especially if you're also apartment hunting in New York. If you have any questions for me, as always, leave it in the comments and also let me know which apartment was your favorite one. If you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for staying tuned, and I will see you guys in my next video.